Hello, this is Relly Mangubat. You're watching Drum Basics. This is another episode of Drum Basics, and today our episode would be how to make a SNOM. Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about the SNOM. And for those people who are not aware of the word SNOM, it is a hybrid word of snare and floor tom. So basically, it's a snare and a floor tom combined. It's a drum used by a lot of drummers now, probably in the mid 20s, yeah, or early 2019s. This has been this has started, right, for some drummers. But when I got aware of the drum, it intrigued me and wanted myself to do a version of it. Okay, so I'm gonna share you my ideas, the materials that I actually bought to complete the project, and how I came about doing this project. Maybe you can get something out of it too. So let's go ahead and check. Alright, so first material is the floor tom. It's a 13 by 10, and I purchased this in Marketplace in Facebook. So you can search for a lot of items there, second hand, for a cheap price, so you won't get if something happened and you made a mistake, it's not going to be something that it's painful in your wallet. Okay, so you can search Marketplace for a lot of sold second-hand products that are very useful. Okay. The second one is this one is actually purchased here in Manila, and I think it is being shipped from a different country. Okay, it took about a week for it to arrive. It's the snare throw off. For this item, I've selected what I think is durable, and what I think is cosmetically, ideal for the drum set, or for the SNOM. So I'd like an appealing piece, which would also make me happy when I see it. So this is a very useful device. It's very solid. However, when it arrived, it didn't came with screws with it, so I have to go to the local store, hardware store, to buy separate screws for it. But well, it's still workable, right? The important thing is its function and its durability. Okay, the second one is this one. This one came in a 3-piece. It's a mountable, what do you call this? This is actually for the floor tom legs. So it's a tom mount. It came in 3 already, and it's very cheap. Yeah, I have this version which I bought in the States a couple years back. The only difference is it is obviously aluminum versus to the solid steel that you can purchase in the States. But nonetheless, it looks cosmetically, it looks the same, and it would serve its function. The good thing about this is the SNOM won't be that heavy. Okay, so if you put on a lot of hardwares, the SNOM would actually turn out to be heavy eventually. So this would not add up because it's not that solid. It would serve its purpose, but it would not add up to its weight. Okay, the third one is I bought this also in online. Okay, here locally. It's a pair of snare rims. Okay, and it's actually a 13 by 6. The floor tom is actually a 13 by 6. So make sure that you buy the right rims for the toms that you'll be buying. This one is both the batter and the snare side of the rim, and it's cheap. It's cheap. You can see a lot of cheap products or items out there in the market online, and it gets delivered to your doorstep. Okay. The next one is the snare wires. The snare wires is actually I bought a fatter version of the snare because I want a different sound. Right? If I choose to to buy the regular strands, the 32 strands, I would probably get the same tone or sound from the snare. So I wanted to add a different snare snare sound for this particular snare. Okay, and buying a much thicker snare wire would actually add to that sound that I'm actually looking for. So I actually bought a fatter snare wire. Okay. The next one is the drum heads, of course. So I bought a 13 inch drum head. It's a local drum head from Taiwan. You can buy it in the locally, right? I also ordered it online, and it came here the first amongst the all of the orders that I've actually placed. So it came in less than 3 days. I think the following day it actually arrived already. So it's locally distributed, and it's made from Taiwan. And from the reviews that I actually got, it is actually superior quality, and it has the same response that you get from the more expensive ones. Okay, for this project, I bought cheap drum heads, as to I'd want to still experiment on the sound that I'll be producing. That's why I don't really rush into things and buy the expensive ones right away. So might as well do some testing first and see if that fits you. If this particular drum snare head sounds great towards the response that I'm actually looking for, so be it. I won't change a bit. I won't change to a different snare head. Okay, so it's really up to you. So if you're meticulous with your sound and you want a branded drum head, you can buy that in your local stores. It's actually being sold here in the Philippines. You get the Evans, you get Remo, you get Aquarian. Everything is available now here in the Philippines, unlike before. Okay, for the snare side, the drum head that I'm gonna use is an old drum head. It has been seasoned because I bought this drum head way back in the 90s. Seriously, in the 90s. And since from that then on forward, I don't use the size of 13 for my toms. It has been 10 and 12 ever since. Okay, so believe it or not, it has been 10 and 12. Okay, the biggest tom that I actually had was a 14, 10 by 4. It's a 12, 14, 16 drum set. So I never had a 13 tom ever since. Okay, but I'm very fond of 13-inch snare drums. Back in the ages. So I had a Tama 13. I have a Pearl 13, and those are the snare drums that I actually like, because it doesn't really needed much attention for tuning. Right, once you tune it, it remains tuned, and the size is actually very for me, it's easy to carry anywhere. It's a small size, but you get that tone and action, or probably the response that you would need on a venue. Okay, so I had an old Stair Ambassador 13-inch, which I am actually going to use for this project. So basically, those are the things that you would be needing. Let's go ahead and check out what I did to start the project. snare beds could be as wide as 8 inches. It really depends on how you perceive using your drum. Okay, but it can also be as thin or as wide as an inch. And the depth of a snare bed could be as deep as 1/8 of an inch or lesser, or it could be as deep as a centimeter. That's it. So it really depends. But the main purpose of the snare bed is for your snares to flatten its way at the bottom, the snare side. This would actually give you a better snare sound. Without it, it would sound differently. So it's very important. Now let's go ahead and prepare our SNOM for that snare bed. Finished putting all the hardware on the shell, and I'm gonna show you how it looks like. So look at this beauty. This is a original Gretsch Hawk, Black Hawk, and I've changed the shell, placed in this beauty here. Okay, the mount for the legs. This is the beautiful throw off for the snares, like so. Okay, and the lugs are again nice and shiny. All right, now let's check, put in all the drum heads for both batter and the resonance heads, and let's see how it sounds like this time. Okay, so we already created our own snare floor tom, which is the SNOM. Now, what we need to do now is test the sound. Okay, so I actually chose this size because it's perfect for my setup. It's a 13 by 10 shell, and it fits well on my ash custom. So let's see how it functions together with the other drums. So let's try the tom version, or the tom function. Okay, this is how it sounds like. So it works well with the other toms. So it's serving its purpose as a tom. Uh, Most drummers would use this for build up, so it functions well with that build up. Um, the heads of this is a two-ply um, oil-filled head, but it's a local brand. So it doesn't, compared to the regular Remos or Evans, it's not that, it doesn't sound good as like those heads. But for now, actually got this head way back in the in the mid 1990s, and it's still here. So instead of me buying right away, I just want to test it first. Um, you can, it's your preference. You can buy any head. Should you choose to ask me about this, probably I'll be putting a clear ambassador or a pinstripe, because the function of this drum is to still be a floor tom, but with snare capabilities. Okay, so I've tuned this in a way that would fit my usage. So you can tune it as a regular snare should you want that. I already have three snares, as you can see, so I don't really need that extra snare sound. But I'd want a different snare sounding drum. Okay, that would probably give me that effect that I need for creating drum notes. So let's see how it sounds like. So it's pretty loose here on top, and what I did with the snare bottom, the head, it's not that tight. Just yeah, giving that extra room and air for it to vibrate. Okay, so let's see how it sounds like with the snare. Snares on. Okay, so pretty much you can hear the snares um, are tight. So this is how it sounds like with the tom. So deep. The sound is so deep. The snares are actually doing a great job giving that extra deep sound. So let's do it with short solo. That's with the right hand. How about the left? So that's another video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Again, it's about this special handcrafted, do-it-yourself SNOM. It's a snare and a floor tom in one. If you like this video, just click on subscribe, and for you to get the latest videos of drum basics in the future. So for now, thank you for watching. See you guys again.